Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Jack of All Trading Cards podcast. I am your host, Tristan, and today I have a very big announcement. It's going to be the first episode. We're going to start things off with YuGiOh. It's the first day of September, and this podcast is basically just going to be me talking about the card games that I play, and let's get right into it. So the topic I went for today in our YuGiOh conversation, it's going to be every Friday, by the way. So if you're into YuGiOh, make sure you come back here every Friday. I'm going to be talking about more YuGiOh. Or come back here every day. I'm going to be talking about basically any card game that I play. So today, the topic is tailoring your hand traps to your deck. So we all know in YuGiOh that hand traps is just either you play the best ones and you stick to those, the best ones for the format, and you just put them in any deck. I personally don't think you should be doing that all the time. I mean, yes, there's a strong case. The highest percentage win rate cards should go into your deck, and just that is that. But what I keep seeing that comes up a lot in games is, say for example, Ash Blossom, one of the best hand traps to ever exist. You just put it in every deck. But say for example, in a deck like Purely, which is consisting of level 1 cards, you could instead run stuff like Jawlin Lockbird or Hurricane the Div Incarnate or Effect Veiler. And sometimes you can normal summon them and then use them as XYZ's materials. Or you can even use them as like something like Relinquished Anima to break their boards. It's just so good that you can do these extra cards with the hand traps that you normally wouldn't be able to do, right? And that could be the difference between a game-winning play or not a game-winning play. Another example of this is like Ghost Ogre in Punk, or like any deck that runs Emergency Teleport. What ends up happening is you can Emergency Teleport, have a Ghost Ogre just readily available instead of just having it as a hand trap. And Ghost Ogre can actually activate on field, which if you didn't know, the quick effect for Ghost Ogre happens on hand or field, which is pretty neat. Another example, I was playing Dinosaurs and I had no starter in my hand, right? No Oviraptor, no nothing like that, no Fossil Dig, no Miscellaneousaurus. But I did have a Nibiru in my hand and a Lost World in my hand. And what ended up happening was I Nibiru'd my opponent, put the token to their side of the field, which is a normal monster. And then I had the Nibiru, which is a 3000 attack monster. Had no starters for my combo in my hand, but I activated Lost World, and then I just went to battle phase. I swung Nibiru into the Nibiru token, and then I used Lost World's effect, which is if a normal monster would be destroyed, I can destroy from the deck instead. And so, I was able to destroy a baby Ceratosaurus and then proceeded to do my entire combo with just those 2 cards, which is really good. So what I'm saying is, like, in Dinosaurs, you could run more Nibirus, right? It could be a good card right now. Nobody's excuse me. Nobody's really expecting that. So yeah. Another example, right? In Sword Soul, I've seen a lot of lines where normal summoning a tuner like Effect Veiler or Ash, though they may not be the best hand traps of the format, where you can normal summon those allowed them to unbrick or like un unbrick themselves basically. So like for example, they went, oh, um you have a excess Moye on the field. But the token's gone because for some reason they token collected you or something. You can either just normal summon the Ash, make a Denglong, and then send the worm from the deck to the graveyard and then keep playing that way by sending like a Tenyi. There's just so many things you can do with so many different hand traps where they're not just hand traps. Just because they're the best hand trap of the format doesn't mean they're the best hand traps for your deck. But if they are the best hand traps of the format, it also means that they're probably the best hand traps of the format for a good reason. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say, is that don't just run what people say are the best hand traps. Find something fun. Like this is why Bestials are so good with Dragon Link, because they're pseudo hand traps and they're pseudo engine pieces, which is always nice. Another thing is like maybe make sure you don't have the too many hand traps, right? So another reason people groan about their hands is they just play the best deck and then put in a certain amount of non-engine. And then when they draw just non-engine, they just, like, even high skilled players do this. They just pass their turn, they look annoyed. We don't want that. So if we're tailoring our hand traps to our deck, we could even sometimes use them as board breakers, like murders even. You can normal summon like Drawlin Lockbird, for example, make a relinquished anima. And then if you open too many of them, it doesn't really matter because you used one for their turn, then one to break their board, and then proceed to combo off after breaking their board with a normal summoned hand trap, right? Something like that. So another reason to tailor your hand traps is if you draw multiples, then the other copies of the ones that you drew is gonna be able to do other things, right? So that's another thing that you want to keep in mind. The next part is like next deck or next hand trap that I want to talk about is infinite impermanence. So card is really good. Doesn't play into cards like Called by the Grave or even Triple Tactics, Thrust, and Talents. The added benefits of that is like you can play it in a deck like Trap Tricks, where you can discard a normal trap for Trap Tricks Holotea, and then it's basically a starter slash extender that way. So yeah, just finding these different synergies with the hand traps that you play is always going to be worth it. So along with the added benefit of being able to play hand traps in your deck, not just even hand traps, by the way, board breakers too. So a while ago I was talking about my Dino deck. In that Dino deck, I also play board breakers that allow me to use them in other ways than just being board breakers. So for example, the Dino Wrestler Handtraps. Of course, it's a dinosaur, right? So it's searchable in my deck, and it's also one of the best board breakers in my opinion for like the um the whole format. It's a quick effect. You can chain it, and you can literally pop any card your opponent controls. Pretty good. Can threaten things by itself. You can even special summon it, run over an Appaloosa, something like that. And yeah, just overall, just be able to search it. So not just that, I'm also running stuff like Kaijus, which is searchable in my deck. And I'm also running Cash Tier of Fenrir's, which is basically Pankratops. But the main reason I'm running Fenrir's is because you want to be able to search another Fenrir and use an Earth monster, which is Fenrir, plus like a baby Ceratosaurus or Petite Pteranodon. And then just be able to pop both of them for like a Dragonic Diagram or a True King Lithosagim the Disaster. So those are really cool lines that you can do just with the board breakers that you play in your deck alone. So yeah, that's really all it is just make sure your cards, you're getting the most bang for your buck out of them. Um that's it for the talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this short mini podcast, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Don't forget to join the Discord for more conversations like this. And yeah, I'm just selling out my Discord. And yeah, bye bye.